what it is.
Welcome back to Double Dose. I'm your host, Daniel.
And I'm your host, Dipesh.
And we're here to take you from Earth to the dark side of the moon.
Ooh, I like that. Daniel.
Yes.
How are you, man?
Good.
That's good.
How are you?
I'm not too bad. Something interesting has transpired over the last couple of days.
Hit me with it. I want to hear it.
So I was doing a bit of a review on our socials, on our TikTok. Mm-hmm. And one thing I noticed was when I was just like scrolling through our feed was there was one video that didn't have any views. It was very interesting.
Yes.
And so I clicked on the video and it just so happened to be the video that we talk about the illustrious Mr. Murdoch.
Ooh, I had a feeling that this could happen.
So I don't know how Chinese... Oh, is it a Chinese-owned company?
Who?
TikTok.
Murdoch? Oh, yeah, TikTok. Yep.
Murdoch, he's got his fingers all over the world.
He owns TikTok.
He owns China. Yeah, dude, that's pretty interesting. I'm wondering how much sway they have that... Because, you know, organically the app itself would get you at least 10 views, at least.
It wouldn't be zero.
It wouldn't be zero.
It'd be highly unlikely that it's just saying zero.
Yeah, it's like 0 likes, 0 views, and amongst everything...
Which at least has something.
Which at least has... No, like the minimum is like 70 views.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That's like our least...
low key.
Yeah, those are early uploads.
What's it called? Low key. What's the word I'm thinking of? Low key. When you're like hyping yourself. What's the word?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Fuck! It'll come back to me. All right.
We need another hype man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a pretty interesting. I'm wondering how much power he has because we gave him a little diss and it wasn't anything bad. I'm sure he's heard a lot worse. Do
you think it's potentially even doing AI algorithms to test the word even coming up Murdoch, or it's just the...
Oh, I will say that I did hashtag
you
Murdoch.
Hashtag Murdoch
Yeah.
maybe is already, straight away flagged and banned or something.
But how does that work for a company that isn't Australian owned?
You could totally pay and say,
okay,
this is what I don't want shown, don't market this stuff, or it's considered
don't slander my name.
TikTok have got their algorithms that say this is a more controversial topic. Low-key brag. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, you're on a low-key brag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't look at guys. I don't want to low-key brag, but fucking we're hitting high numbers now. We're hitting.
I only got 70 is my lowest, And this one's got 0.
Tens of thousands of views. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, I found that super suspicious.
It is very suspicious. I'm a bit concerned that they have this much power.
The Shadow Realm.
We made a joke about getting banished to the Shadow Realm, and now I feel like I got a duel.
And we did.
I hope you got a deck of cards,
my dark
dude.
magician at?
I know. I need a fucking blue eyes real quick.
Straight up.
Who was the dude with the 5 cards? They get the head and the arms.
Exodius,
dude. That guy. We need that guy on our side.
Yeah, we need that Exodius motherfucker to come in.
We need that guy in defense mode. We need him in defense mode real quick.
I switched my card into defense mode. That guy's voice was crazy good.
When he switched into the Egyptian self, right? Because he had 2 voices.
When he was Big Yugi.
Yeah.
Oh, Yami Yugi. It was called Yami
What
Yugi.
if he met a chick with when he had the mad deep alpha bro voice?
And then he just goes down, hey, it's me, guys.
Hey, I'm just a little timid boy. And she's like, what the fuck?
What's this? I banged you last week.
Oh, that was my alter ego. Don't worry about that.
Shit.
I play card games for a living, by the way. Oh, okay.
Bye.
I thought you were from Egypt. I thought you were a prince.
Only I can be again.
I can be. How did he change?
He had the puzzle.
Right. The little medallion thing. Was it a whole pyramid?
Yeah, it was a pyramid eye.
Yeah.
Upside down. Illuminati shit. They were brainwashing us young.
Yeah, we got it real young.
So I think Murdoch has definitely got his fingers in all the pies right now, and he's definitely saying, or definitely putting some sort of controversial topic to not make these type of videos go up. But if you Google Murdoch on TikTok, if you search Murdoch on TikTok, I'm sure something comes up.
Guys, please don't do that. I heard of a friend searching Murdoch on TikTok, and then I never heard from him again.
He's in the Shadow Realm.
And his instant Shadow Realm
was Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's true, bro. True story, bro.
True story.
His name was Yami Yugi.
Yami, you're gone.
And he wanted to become the dude. When I recently started, not recently, when I had just started at my current job, a person that worked there quit to pursue a career in magic. And I thought that was really interesting in this day and age to do that. What a gamble in this day and age. 2022.
You can I seen I've heard of people hiring magicians for parties and stuff.
Still?
Yep.
I guess. Yeah.
Very common thing.
I mean, unless you hit Las Vegas and you're one of those big stars.
It can just be like random parties for like a birthday party, but they'll be pretty cool magicians.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've heard of one called the Black Tie Magicians here in Australia. And they're pretty cool. Small team.
Yeah, okay.
And then can you hire them for like $500? They'll come to your house.
Pretty good living.
That's pretty cool.
The weekend gig. Yeah. And it's fun.
And you got to be good with people though. You get so many drunk idiots. Oh, I can see the card.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it for kids though. I don't feel like there'd be any enjoyment in that.
But these guys all go to like high class events.
Yeah.
Where it's, maybe a corporate gig and they're there to wow everyone as well.
Check behind your retina. Check behind your retina. Here's a scalpel. Oh my God. It kind of hurts, but there's my card. Can I go to the hospital now?
Yeah, they did an episode in South Park where David Blaine was there, and they were like, checking your butthole. Yeah. Checking your butthole. And he's like, reach up further. And he's like, I feel something. And he pulls it out. It's a fucking card.
That guy's, if anyone is an alien, David Blaine.
I did a lot of research into him, and he's not so much, he is a magician, that's for sure. He's a great illusionist, but a lot of the shit that he does in terms of holding his breath for a long time and, poking his finger with a knife and shit and putting
that ice pick
thing through his hand, that's all real. And he's just learned how to do that stuff. So the water spurting, do you remember when he could learn how to water spurt and he could spurt up a goldfish?
Yeah.
He went into that African, remember that video years ago about that guy
I think it was like
in
Turkey
Africa?
or something.
Oh no, it was like a place in Africa or like Zimbabwe or something. And there was a guy who could shoot water out of his mouth, and it was a really big hyped video that was a viral video.
I remember that. Yep.
And he went and literally went to that town and tracked down the guy from they looked at signage or something and went to experts and said, where's this village? Like, the street side in the background, and they found the place, found the guy, and he taught him how to spurt and said it was all muscle control, diaphragm control, and then he learned to do it.
Yeah.
Not as good as the guy. That guy was a machine. Like, he could just literally like a water hose.
It was like, just like a constant stream. I think I watched that episode, and I think he was also attempting to do this trick that like a Turkish magician used to do.
Where he'd swallow the goldfish and then at the end of the show bring up the goldfish.
No, this guy he would coat his belly in water and then drink like gasoline to sit on top of the water and shoot fire. Yeah,
shoot fire out of his mouth after it's empty. Yes, sorry, I've heard that too.
But then I think he eroded his stomach because the gasoline or whatever ethanol he was using would just erode his stomach lining.
Yeah, it'd eat your stomach lining.
Yeah.
And you couldn't hold it in there for long.
No, yeah. You'd have to be like
and his mouth was burning and shit. It was insane. Yeah, I seen him do it. But he tried to do this goldfish one at a celebrity's house, and he couldn't get the goldfish up for an hour. So the trick was he's swallowing a goldfish, and he had to water spurt until it came out, but he didn't have the strength. So he was just drinking water and spurting it, and then drinking water and spurting it. And it happened for an hour before the fish finally came out. Because he didn't have the strength like that dude in Africa did.
That goldfish was like, wow, I'm at Wet and Wild Water World right now.
Yeah, what is happening? Imagine being that goldfish.
Dude, traumatized.
You're just chilling your life. Yep, cool. All right, I'm in some creature's belly. Now he keeps drinking water and trying to spit me out for an hour. That is bizarre.
Oh my God. Do you think you'd feel relieved? Or just the trauma from it all, you'd be like, just digest me.
But you know what? Actually, being eaten whole as a goldfish must be the most natural way to go in the world.
Are you saying you don't get chewed up, you just get swallowed?
Yeah, you get swallowed by another fish.
Yeah.
That's so normal.
Where's
Phil? He just died of old age. No, not like that. It's like he's got to be eaten. Where's a good boy? Be eaten like every other fish.
Where are goldfish native to?
Very, very disgusting swamp water and lakes.
Interesting. Because you can't picture them just swimming around other than people's
They're not
houses.
a freshwater fish.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why, when you also, did you know, random fact here, many facts, goldfish staying small in a fish tank is a like a growth imbalance by their environment being too small. So a goldfish in the wild gets huge. It gets like big like a koi. But a goldfish being in a little glass clean jar, it just is forced to stay small.
Yeah.
It's like stopping them from growing. It's horrible.
We
Also, I'll never have fish.
Yeah. You want to treat them to like a nice aquarium.
I'm not like that person that goes, I need this to look at because I want to just look at cool fish.
The house I grew up in, we had a huge pond in the backyard. It was a full brick pond. I could have probably swam in it.
Yeah.
And the previous owner was an Italian guy, and he raised koi fish, prize-winning koi fish. I think we had like 10 of them. And these are the type of kois that are like, you could pat them. They're so big. They're almost intelligent. They'll suck on your finger. I think he moved to Italy, so he had to leave them all behind. Mm-hmm. We bought the house and he's like, keep them. And my dad put some really strong cleaning solution in the pond and killed them all. And these koi would have been like thousands,
And also probably maybe 20, 30 years old.
They were old, yeah.
Oh,
they were big boys.
God, did your dad feel bad?
He felt bad. We tried to do it again. We tried to do the whole koi thing again. We bought like 11 koi. We let them grow up. They got about, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 centimeters long.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up one morning. We had them mixed with goldfish. And I woke up one morning just having a glass of water, looking out the kitchen window. And I just see all these shiny things on the concrete. I'm like, what the hell's that? I walk outside and there's scales and blood everywhere.
Cats.
Oh, seabird.
A seabird?
Yeah.
Where are you living?
I had noticed it a couple of weeks earlier. It was
like a seagull?
It was a grey bird with a long neck.
Pelican?
No, not that big.
Oh.
It was a skinny bird with just a really long neck. I don't know what bird it was.
Pointy head? Like pointy beak? Very pointy?
Yeah, very pointy.
I think I know the one.
And,
Bastards.
That guy.
Wow.
And dude, he massacred all the koi and goldfish other than one white koi and one black koi. And those are the lucky two.
Dang.
And after that, we put chicken wire on and it just was never the same.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's my story of my...
That's why I can't have nice things. Nature fuck it up.
Yeah. It was, imagine that bird did all-you-can-eat buffet. All this for me?
Yeah, smorgasbord.
Like 20 fish just...
Oh, dude. What a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, yeah, because we used to go to the local markets annually that have a koi festival,
mm-hmm.
and the koi, like the people that would submit their kois, they would have a drum, like a barrel that was like 3 meters in diameter with just one prize koi in it to show off to win an award.
Yeah,
it was insane.
Wow. Yeah, they can get big, and
really big.
They think that they can live like 100 years or something or more.
Yeah, they get massive.
Pretty freaky. It's like lobsters. I've heard that they have no age limit. The only way they die in the wild is by either being fished or killed by something else bigger. And there was a guy who wanted to see, it was an experiment years ago, there was a guy who wanted to see how long he could keep one for. I'm pretty sure he kept it for 50 years or more, and it showed no signs of aging, and one day he actually accidentally stood on it and killed it.
Oh no!
Yeah, he was experimenting, doing his thing, and I think it like went on the floor, and he went to like pick it up and stood on it. Pinchy, no,
dude. Have you heard about this jellyfish that's immortal?
Yeah.
This I'm going to give the name a go.
Not, so
I'm going to give the name a go.
Tell me about it.
Turritopsis nutricula.
Okay.
Absolutely butchered it, but it doesn't die, so it's okay. It's a small jellyfish that can transfer its cells back to childhood. I think it's a defense mechanism.
Wow. Imagine going, I'm so scared, I'm just going to revert back into a baby.
Got that Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button
multiple
jellyfish. Times.
So yeah, I don't know if they choose to go forever, which is interesting. But then isn't there like with jellyfish, there's like thousands of
different species?
Sex.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I know a lot of them don't even have to breed. They can do it themselves or like clone themselves essentially, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Imagine being able to live... Like, they don't even have a brain.
They're just
They just exist.
It's this instinctual.
Well, it's a body without any thought process. It just does what's natural. It's like a piece of grass almost.
Yeah, you would say like that's the hybrid between an animal and a plant.
Totally. Wow. I had that exact thought then too. I thought it's very much like, a plant and an animal had a baby.
Yeah.
And there's this thing that just lives and breathes and does everything on its own without a single sentient thought.
Like on land, it would be like if a shrub could just slowly maneuver its way around the neighborhood.
How
Slowly.
weird would that be if the plant life were essentially like it was in the ocean?
Yeah.
So, the grass would just be, my lawn's moved today. It's waddled down the street. No, well, maybe it'll come back.
Like it was just this organic thing that just like
slithered around.
Yeah, just like if you could just stare at your backyard and just watch it like
You'd time lapse it and you'd be like, hey, my grass moved 10 meters, 2 meters today.
Like it just like wherever the shade is in your backyard, it's not there. It just keeps moving with the sun.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
That'd be so trippy.
Anyway, that's kind of like what the ocean's like.
That is true.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, what's happening?
We just got news that Murdoch is infiltrating us right now.
Okay, we're back. We figured out what it was.
We're back.
Was in the nuclear codes, and we cancelled them real quick.
Yeah. Basically, we have a kill switch. What's it called? Dead man's hand?
Oh, I don't know.
I think there's a fail safe. I don't know if it's just in America, but if there were to go into nuclear annihilation, there's essentially a dead man's hand. It's an AI that will automatically trigger the nukes.
Oh, really? if the humanity can't?
Yeah.
Wow.
If the president is unable to go, he's in Air Force One. He's in the sky, and he's like, launch the nukes. And you don't have like two dudes to flip the switch and press the button. I think there's like a fail safe. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think that. I thought they wouldn't be able to launch, and that was the final thing. Wow, isn't that scary that we just go, well, you know what? Let's just leave it to the robots at the end of the day.
And then what technically nukes the world? The humans that designed the dead man's hand, or the AI that deployed it? Because there's a point where we're going to think AI is as sentient as us.
Yeah, but launching nukes because it's designed to do that, it's definitely our fault.
D-Day. Dead man's hand nuclear retaliation system.
Wow.
Scary stuff.
So
it was invented during the Cold War era. So that's some old tech.
It's not even AI at that point. It's just a computer program.
Yeah, it's just an analog clock with a sensor, with a little gigometer.
You just got someone at the end of the day that goes, I'll just add another hour. Yeah. I'll just add another hour.
Like Lost.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, man.
All right, I got one for you.
Shoot.
Get this. All right. Baked beans. You know baked beans?
Love them.
They're coming out with a Vegemite flavor.
Like this is Heinz?
Heinz baked beans are coming out with tomato and Vegemite flavor. It could blow up. It could be like the shapes. They never went away. That's their best seller now.
People do eat Vegemite baked beans, don't they?
Yeah, it's a thing. So they put their Vegemite on the toast, then baked beans with that. So they thought we'll just hit two birds with one stone.
Yeah, I think this is like when Vegemite also tried to release that cheesy mite, because they're like, oh, people like eating cheese and Vegemite. It's like, no, and no one liked it. It's like, I'll do it myself.
Okay, it wasn't the same.
No.
Well,
what's the color of that going to be?
I have no idea.
Imagine it's all marbled.
Marbled with black.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's gross. I wouldn't eat it.
Yeah, I probably won't. I don't even like baked beans that much, but I know some people love it and they're going to do it.
I do like baked beans.
After they've seen the shapes, they're going, we got to try some more stuff and see what else lands at this point, because that's crazy.
Remember when Shapes thought they should reinvent all the flavors? And everyone was like, what? Like literally what? Stop what you're doing.
I don't remember that at all.
No, it happened like 3 or 4 years ago. And
they just came out with a bunch of flavors?
No, they reinvented every original flavor.
What do you mean reinvented?
They packaged barbecue, new flavor, pizza, new, and everyone was like, this is so shit, change it back. And then there was a period where they had original flavor and the new flavor, because they had to not look like they fell back on their word. And then they phased all the new ones out and they're back to the originals.
You know what they done? They gone, all right, we can try all this new flavor stuff, and it's just us cutting the cost heaps on all the product and getting way less flavor into the product. And if everyone likes it, and we call it new flavor, if everyone likes it, cool. But if everyone hates it, no harm done. We'll just go back to the old ways. But for sure, it was about cutting costs. There's no way they're just gone, we're just going to reinvent it for funsies.
It's the Coca-Cola thing, right? Like, distract them with a new flavor, slightly change the original flavor, and then when they come back, they go, finally the original flavor, and they're like, little
I
do you
don't
know.
think Coke's changed at all. The original?
I think they did it with Diet Coke. It was like they launched, I think in the 80s, New Coke. It had a backlash, and then they changed it to Diet Coke.
Yeah, they were trying to
like
get
that.
Coke. Man, the other day when I haven't had Coke in so long, and I had no sugar, I thought, man, this does not taste anything like Coke at all.
And that's the one that's meant to taste like Coke.
Yeah, that this food science has increased more versus... So what it was is, I know a lot about Coke. I work for them. So what it was that Diet Coke was a totally new formula with no sugar, trying to be the flavor of Coke. But Coke No Sugar, or Coke Zero when it came out, was Coke, the exact same formula, but replace the sugar with a substitute. So Diet Coke was a completely different formula.
Right.
That tried to replicate Coke taste.
Right.
But it just wasn't. Because food science was just not there yet. They didn't have an artificial sugar, no sugar yet.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah.
There was just no proper substitute. So, or it would change the taste too much. So they had to come up with a new formula. But then Coke No Sugar was the same formula, but instead of the sugar, they put this new substitute in, and that was the change. Okay, I got one more for you.
Yeah, man.
All right. Do you remember do you remember the story of the Russian scientist that was going to do the head transplant?
Yes.
Do you remember the story? Yeah. Did you know much about it?
Was this during World War II?
No, man. This is 2015.
Oh my God. Okay. No.
Okay. There was a Russian scientist. His name was Dr. Sergio Canavero in Italy. He was a Russian scientist, a Russian neurosurgeon, but I think did a lot of work in Italy.
Okay.
Was going to do a full head transplant from one body to another.
Is the body the body of the person
is completely brain dead?
It's from a dead person, a freshly dead person?
No, a person who's alive but brain dead.
Are they switching two bodies with two heads?
No, so the person who's brain dead is going to have their head cut off and thrown in the bin. Okay. And the person who's body dead is going to have their head cut off and stuck onto the body of another person, apparently live through it. So imagine you're getting
That's deep, dude.
Imagine getting your head cut off and transplanted onto another body and surviving.
That's so scary. Do you think you would feel things really differently?
I have no idea. This is what's horrifying, right?
Because that whole question of is the red you're seeing the same red I'm seeing? Do you think is like...
no. His vision, it's all going to be the same.
No, as
you
a
mean
body,
his bodily
when you
experience?
touch a blanket, is it the exact same way?
His body was dying anyway. He had some sort of neurological condition that caused your neck down to be completely paralyzed.
But the new body he goes into,
it was
the
a healthy
memories
body.
of how you feel the world, do you think you would feel it differently because it's a different body?
Yeah, but you'd get used to it.
Yeah.
It's like when you become buff or when you become skinny, you eventually get used to it, and that's the new normal. If you woke up fat one day, you'd be like, shit, how'd I get here? This feels weird as hell.
You definitely get used to it.
You get adapted to it, right? So the idea was that, a full head transplant. So
that's scary.
The guy who's going to go through it was a 30-year-old computer scientist who had a condition, which I'm going to read out in a sec, but he was volunteering for the surgery.
Okay, wow.
So he had a rare genetic muscle wasting condition called type 1 spinal muscular atrophy, and the condition caused loss of motor neurons in the spinal cord and the brain region connected to the spinal cord. So individuals with the disease are unable to walk and then often are then unable to sit unaided.
So it was a ticking time bomb. He was eventually going to
become completely unable to, look after him. Well, do anything. Can't even move his hands.
So
nothing.
he thought he'd get a jump start.
Okay. The procedure was estimated to take 100 surgeons. 100 fucking dudes.
What are they all doing?
I don't know. But it was going to take 100 surgeons and 36 hours to complete.
Oh my God.
And it was going to be a complete spinal cord fusion.
Right.
So they're going to get the spinal cord from one dude to another and sew every thread together.
All the nerves.
All the nerves. You know how complicated your
I heard it's
spinal
looks like angel hair spaghetti.
Yeah. But like micron level.
Yeah. Wow.
So the head from the donor body will be removed using an ultra sharp blade in quotation marks.
Okay.
To limit the amount of damage to the spinal cord. The procedure, 100 spinal cord fusion surgeons Yeah. So in order to make the incision, it needed to be a super sharp blade because any damage, any even slight touch, they said more than 1 Newton meter, which is like a couple of grams of strength, could damage the fibers of the spinal cord.
I'm picturing every surgeon is allowed 1 millimeter of a cut just so they all have a part in this because there's 100 of them. They just go, mind to pass a scalpel down the line.
Yeah. So I'm tired. You next.
Yeah. This is too much.
Yep. So it was going to go ahead, right? The surgery is going to cost $15 million because they needed to, get the surgeons to all do it. And then they had to build a custom ultra sharp diamond blade made of diamonds. It needed to be so thin and so sharp that it was like never been done before.
I feel like this is a surgeon should be operating a machine to have this much precision.
Maybe they would have. They didn't specify. He's a neurosurgeon and brain surgeon for years. Anyway, they got the financial resources from diverse millionaires, high interest in science and medical field. The main contributor was a Russian billionaire, the founder of Orbiter Initiative, with a plan to transplant a human brain into a robotic body. So he thought creating this could eventually lead to the first cyborg, and his goal was to have a cybernetic immortality. So that's why he funded this project.
That's an interesting choice of career.
Right? Anyway, the WNA, which is the World Medicine Association, was up in arms about this and said, if you do it, we will never let you practice again, threatening him that, like, that's it. If you do go ahead with this procedure, it's so crazy, you will lose the right to perform any surgeries ever again.
This is like an international board of doctors?
International board of doctors saying, that's it, you will be banned for life. You will never perform a surgery. This guy was a world-level surgeon as well.
And he's like, see you later, going back to Russia so I can do whatever I want.
No, it keeps going. So he said the difficult part of the difficult and risky part of the operation was not the surgery itself. It was the patient recovery. So he thinks that it could actually be accomplished and keep the body alive. So he'd have to be. So they do the surgery. Essentially, it all goes well. Put him in a coma for a month, and then let the patient recover while stimulating his nerves and stimulating his spinal cord to help produce the neural connection throughout the nerves, right, to the brain. They enlisted the help of this professor called Ren Xiaoping from Harvard Medical University, and he'd been testing the plausibility of the procedure for years on mice, and he was able to do a successful head transplant back in 2015. And the mouse fully recovered all body movement, and within 2 months.
Wow, okay.
A whole head.
That's quite quick recovery.
Yeah, but this is mice, right? So
yeah,
they tried it on a more complex human because a mouse is one thing. And mice are very tolerant to like anything. They can they're like Terminators, they can recover a lot.
Yeah.
So they tried a more complex subject with a monkey, right? And they said, okay, we're going to cut the fucking poor monkey as well. Like they're just cutting heads off monkeys to go, can we do it?
It's in the name of science.
Yeah, we'll just cut their heads off. Anyway, they attempted it in the 1970s as well with a team of Harvard medical doctors and had the first successful head transplant with a monkey. And from the records, the world's first ever transplant of an organism. And after the surgery, the monkey recovered all senses.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think it only survived a month and it died. But also they couldn't wake it from the coma.
But they did know that the electrons were firing all the way through the body.
Yes, and they were able to stimulate it in a certain way, and it was all reacting properly.
Okay.
But it never could gain the consciousness out of the coma.
Right.
So the monkey was clinically dead.
What?
Yeah. And also, when they transplant the brain had to be kept at under 15 degrees Celsius while it was disconnected, otherwise brain damage.
Right. And I'm assuming the person has to be awake for this?
No, they're in a coma. They're dead. They're like, dude, the head's cut off.
But I can imagine there's blood being pumped through.
Yeah, they have
constantly.
oxygen being fed and blood being fed into the head to keep it alive.
How do you? I mean, you'd have to make a decision, cut off a major vessel, and then just quickly pop in a tube of blood. Wow. I can understand the 100 scientists now.
So the 100 scientists, right?
Yeah.
100 neurosurgeons. And anyway, it happened they did it on the mouse.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, it only took 3 weeks for the monkey to regain all of its functionality, but it couldn't wake from the coma. But they thought when they would, by the time they would be able to do it after that, they thought there'd be enough go ahead for, enough advancement in the field to able to do it on a person as well, and know more knowledge about people. So they'd be able to do it, was the thought. And it was supposed to go ahead in 2018. However, never took place because the guy that volunteered to do it ended up being able to have a child, and he didn't want it then. So within the time that he volunteered, he said, if I die, I die, and I've got no other options. He was like, fully ready to die for this procedure. So when he did it, and the surgeon was like, I'll fucking do it, man. I'm not going to hold back. If I can't practice again, this will be worth it if it works. Because you imagine it worked?
Yeah.
Anyway, 2018 doesn't go ahead because he ends up meeting the woman of his dreams, gets married, has a child, and he was told he'd never be able to have a child. So then when the kid was, he had something to live for, so he said, I'm not going to risk it. Anyway, so that was the end of it. Not because of like people saying no or whatever. It was because the guy who volunteered said no at the end of the day.
Do you think that's divine intervention?
Can you imagine if something like that actually happened?
What happens to the consciousness?
Do you just get unconscious and come back? People come out of comas all the time.
You think it's the same person?
Oh, yeah. Brain
it's
is
not
the
a
same.
reset?
Brain is the same.
Interesting.
How kooky.
That's very scary. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's almost Frankenstein level shit.
I feel like, if someone is at that level, I guess, I know it's a terrible thing to say, but like that's the life path of that person.
I guess so. But, it's also like, well,
modern medicine.
You've needed antibiotics in your life?
Yeah, it's like, as modern medicine, then it's like, how far do you take it?
That's right. Well, I say this, if you didn't have modern medicine, if you didn't have antibiotics, you'd probably be dead. I had an infection in my body years ago, and I needed antibiotics, and if I didn't have antibiotics, it probably would have killed me.
Right.
Just because you don't have antibiotics and you die of infection.
Yeah.
So it would have been but like, dude, I mean, when science is not as crazy it used to be. While I was researching this, I came across another story about this old Russian scientist that used to cut the head off a small puppy and its torso and then stitch it onto the top of another dog. So it became a two-headed dog.
I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, and he used to parade them around in the 70s. No, sorry, 1967. And he used to parade them around and be like, look at these amazing creatures. And he would literally get 2 bowls of milk and the dogs, both heads would go nuts for it.
That's so crazy.
And he'd just be walking around town going, look how amazing my work is. And literally creating 2-headed abominations. And then when they first did, so it was to try and perform heart transplant and lung transplants. And they were doing all this crazy stuff. And then when they were able to do the first heart transplant, they said, oh yeah, it's because of me and my crazy ideas. Thank God we're not there. People are just sewing random shit together in the street and going, look at this person who got 6 heads.
I feel like that's morally wrong.
Yeah. But it paved the way for so many things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in history, those crazy things had to happen.
Crazy stuff had to happen for people to learn. Like, picture how many people would have been cutting bodies open and just looking at them and just going, how does this work? What do I do? This is before tech. You're just literally mangling organs out of people.
I don't know which artist it was exactly, but he pretty much had a deal with like the mortician where he would be notified when there was a freshly buried body and then dig them up and skin them and be able to draw them the way the muscles work and everything like that for anatomy.
Yeah, I know.
For science.
Obviously now we've come so far and we can just scan people and have tech to do that. But without doing all those steps, you'd never know. Very, very freaky.
That is really freaky, dude. Do you reckon that's definitely happening? That's not being disclosed?
Probably. People don't want to know about that crazy stuff anymore, and definitely don't want to see it walking around the streets.
No way. I mean, remember the Dolly the sheep clone? Like, what? Obviously, that worked. So I'm assuming that's happened many a time with people since then, because that was a long time ago.
Fuck. This bloody fucking
zapped
thing.
again.
How many times has zapped me? Damn it.
That's divine intervention. It's testing you.
Yeah, he's like, don't do that.
Every time you have a bad thought, you get a little zap.
Yeah, I need that in my life. So, they can clone a sheep, but the sheep is supposed to be the same age that it was cloned at, right? So if you clone it at 5 years old, then the baby is 5 years old already, technically, I think. That was the issue. Unless they've been able to solve that issue. This was like over 15 years ago.
It's a long time ago.
Shit, right?
So I reckon that it's definitely been done with people and stuff like that.
It would be pretty cool.
Cool and spooky.
So I think they would have definitely been able to do people by now.
Yeah, I think so.
For sure.
I think so.
We don't know CIA Black Ops shit that we're never going to hear about.
You just have like a version of you that's on standby in case you get destroyed.
That's the movie Shutter Island.
Yeah.
Right?
Not
Shutter Island.
Not Shutter Island.
The Michael Bay film with Ewan is Ewan McGregor? Yes, it is. Obi-Wan. He's in it, and he's cloned to keep his, in case you need spare parts.
Right.
It's exactly the film. It's a crap film. But that's the premise, and I thought that was pretty cool.
It is. That is cool.
Yeah. So we're going to be there one day. Yeah, you just need a new leg. Let me just grow one of them in the backyard for you.
You, sir, what are you doing on the street right now?
Yeah.
Well, I've got nothing on around in my life right now.
How'd you like a new heart?
How about $100 for that leg? Deal!
Yeah. How'd you like a new heart today? Man, it might be the day and age where we just go and they're just like, oh, my heart's feeling a bit weak. Yeah, I'll just put a new one in.
Do you think we're closer to getting a quick replacement like that, or we're closer to getting a lab-grown organ replacement?
I think we're closer to the lab-grown one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Especially because if they're... Oh, dude, did you see that guy that's growing a dick on his arm?
No, what the fuck? This is
I need to look up the story.
Do it. I'll hold down the fort for you.
Let me have a quick look.
Yep. And now a word for our sponsors. MeUndies. Do you like having undies?
Do you have erectile dysfunction?
Do you ever experience sadness, loneliness, happiness, scaredness, awakeness, sleepness? Well, then you need this.
Double-headedness. Father of 47. Sorry, no. I've had too much sex, my dick fell off.
Yeah, I need 3 dicks just to maintain the sex.
Father, 47, whose penis fell off due to a blood infection, reveals how he lived with a new one attached to his arm for 6 years. So I think what was happened was they I think they attached his, or they made one and attached it to his forearm so that it would get the right blood flowing through it, the right nerves and everything like that. And then the idea was to chop it off and reattach it to where it needs to be on him.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty freaky, dude, because you can see pictures of this online. I don't know if we can really bring it up for the vlog.
I'm going to dive in deep, though. I'm going to look at it.
Look at it.
Holy shit, it looks exactly like a dick.
It is his dick, dude.
Do you think he has any feeling in it there whatsoever?
Doesn't look like yet, because he's given it a good slap. Like, it's just his forearm. He's like, yeah, this old thing.
Holy crap, is some freaky shit.
So
because you've heard the stories of people growing, an ear on their arm again, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I grow an ear on a mouse or whatever.
So
Holy
that's
shit.
happening, dude. And this guy's...
When was this?
This is, I think... Well, I remember the video blowing up just last year, so it must be...
Pretty recent.
But yeah, dude, that guy's going to have a brand new cock.
That's amazing.
From his arm.
Wow, that's amazing. It is pretty big as well. It's not like...
it's... and look, I guess if you had the choice, you'd be like, yo, doc, chuck a couple extra inches on that thing.
How did they grow it on him?
I'm not too sure. I don't know if it was his and they sewed it on his arm to get it going again.
Oh, that might have been it.
I think so. Either way, he's hung.
Because I'm just saying, how did he get it so... How did they... what did they grow it from? A mold? There's no way they could do that, right?
Well, how do they grow an ear off a mouse?
Yeah, that's true. They just shove the DNA in it and it kind of works.
They just punch in the codes. Penis, 3,000 inches long. Enter. Sir, that's unheard of. Do it. In the name of science.
Too much BDE.
Yeah, man. So that's...
Wow. Science is nuts.
It's really happening out there.
Science is nuts and dick.
Oh, nice. Yeah, screw the head transplant. I want a dick on my arm.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
I want a spare one just ready to go.
You know what? For some reason, that's kind of weirder to me than getting a whole head transplant.
Me too. And also, that area, like, I feel like you'd always be bumping it on shit.
Yeah,
I'd at least want to wear a brace that
there's
protects
no pee
it.
coming out of it. It's like a bit of skin at that
You
point.
don't want to bruise it. You're trying to
bruise
grow
it.
this thing.
You can beat the hell out of a penis, but you can't beat the hell out of a nut.
That's just like flopping around on his wrist there.
Yeah.
You'd have to get a little bracelet to tie that thing down.
Dude, he has sleeves up and everything. He's like showing it off. Look at my penis, how big it is.
He was chilling. He was happy.
That's odd. I think that's super interesting though that we can do that. Do you think that did the transplant work back when they wanted to put it back?
I'll have to look into it. We'll let you guys know in the next episode. We'll check in back, but I really do hope it worked out for him.
Yeah, same.
Hope he got to have his forearm penis.
Yeah, otherwise it's like Jerry from Rick and Morty. Take my penis for Shrimply Bibbles. Sew it on him for the heart. That was wow, what a find.
Yeah, man. I got something I want to show you.
Yeah, boy, hit me.
So, it's to do with an empire in history called
interesting.
Called Axum. Mm-hmm. And this was like one of the most powerful and wealthiest empires in world's history. And it's actually located in northern Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. From doing a very rough look into this empire, the Axumite kings were one of the first to produce gold coins in large quantity.
Okay.
So I think they were the forerunners of this.
Cool.
So they were quite wealthy, they're quite powerful, and what I wanted to talk to you about was the kings were buried under these large monoliths, these obelisks, and they're really, really interesting. I'm bringing it up on the screen here.
Yep.
Have a look at the design of these things, and mind you, this is like 4th century. This is probably one of the tallest things around at this time being built. So not only is that an amazing feat of engineering, but what's interesting about the design itself is it looks a bit like a skyscraper.
Yeah.
There's designs on it that look kind of like it has windows, and it also has a big door at the base of it. Mm-hmm. And it just makes me wonder, like, why would you build this shape with a door at the base and windows to look like a skyscraper above the dead? Do you think it's some stories passed down from an ancient civilization, a modern advanced ancient civilization?
What year was this? Do you know?
I think this is 4th century.
So super old.
Yeah, this is a long time. I think over 1,600 years ago.
Maybe it's some sort of spiritual meaning that these windows and designs were put into it. Usually that's what it is, right? That there's some sort of spiritual meaning behind a lot of this.
Well, were windows invented?
Put up, right?
Were windows a thing? Was glass forging a thing?
And windows were a thing. People had windows in their huts and stuff. They understood a window, I think.
I thought that was a more modern thing. Windows.
They would have had houses. How old?
Smelt glass, and it would just be thick, and they're just laid into wood.
It didn't have to be glass. It could have just been an open window, like a cutout.
Oh yeah, that would have existed for sure. Yeah, but like to have this design,
doors. These look like doors or something.
That's this big door, and to have these windows, several windows up like a skyscraper looking thing. That's really interesting.
Yeah. That's super cool. I have no idea what that could be. It could be means. There's obviously some sort of meaning behind it, I would say, but has there been any speculation about what it could mean?
No, but I do know that the Romans, I think, took some of it. I think they transported it and kept it in Rome, and then had to bring it back.
Well, it's an amazing piece of engineering that they could build something that tall.
Yeah.
With the tech that they would have had to use all hand tools and no cranes or anything. How tall is it?
They're so tall. I'm not too sure.
It looks kind of like the 30 Rock Tower or something.
They're really, really tall.
Really tall and skinny, very thin.
Yeah, so
stacked really well.
To get that to stand up, it's
all concrete.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Really interesting.
It's very interesting about these old ancient civilizations. What were they building? What were they trying to achieve?
Why did the things look the way they looked?
Yeah, what did they do it? What reason did they do it for? Like, this is obviously to, they buried a lot of kings in, there was a lot of burying people in large monolith structures back in the day, especially, Egyptians and their pyramids, and then this Axiums with their skyscraper monoliths.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure the pyramids were never really used as burial chambers.
Didn't they find Tutankhamun and stuff in a pyramid?
I think from what we've seen is that the pharaohs were placed in them, but the pyramids weren't built as burial chambers themselves.
Okay, right.
Yeah. We'll have to do a deep dive into that. I have a few things I want to talk to you about that from what I've seen. But from what I've read, there's no evidence to point that the pyramids were built as burial chambers.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I have no idea. That'd be so cool to know. I want to know, what their thinking was, or what. So there's multiple in that area as well.
There's quite a few.
Were they all different kings or people of importance?
But I believe they were all the royals. And
what do you potentially think it was for? The windows, especially, which was a bit weird.
What's intriguing to me is the design of it. It's just a bit eerie that it represents. It doesn't represent. It looks like something that's plucked out from a modern skyscraper.
Do you think they were receiving futuristic knowledge from some other being or creature?
I'd like to think that they were definitely tapped into something that we have lost contact with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that other story about I cannot remember his name, but there was a guy who built these amazing stones and he was it was a couple hundreds of years ago, I think. Oh God, don't quote me on it. It might have even been just like 80 years ago or something, but there was this guy who could balance these huge stones by himself with no machinery at all. And he would get these huge, enormous stones delivered, and he would then balance them in such a way where it was like a very easy pushing, turning door, and there were a couple tons each boulder,
right.
And they could be pushed with such ease that they would spin perfectly. And he was able to balance all of this stuff and do all of this stuff without any machinery whatsoever.
I think I saw this video. Was he like proving that you could move massive quantities of like stone by yourself by just leveraging a little counterweight or a counterbalance thing underneath to rotate large slabs?
The point of the whole documentary was that people were fascinated with how he could balance these amazingly massive stones on his own with no help. And he would be very secretive about how he did it. That was what was strange about it. But someone said that when he was unloading one of the stones, that they tried to get a sneak peek, and they claimed that they saw him holding two sticks and levitating the stone with them.
Wow.
That's what he claimed he saw, that the guy was just backing out and the whole stone was coming towards him. And he claimed he was floating it with sound waves.
Well, there's a lot of speculation about that in history, isn't there? There's a lot of ancient civilizations that show the use of sound to move large stones and slabs.
Some sort of frequency.
Yeah.
Frequencies able to do something, something cool like that. And that's what this guy claimed he saw, was that he was using two sticks that looked like two rods, and the stone was floating, and he was just moving it himself. And then when he was done, he's like, okay, see you guys, bye. That's it. I've got him.
I reckon there's technology that's been lost.
For sure, man.
Yep. And we're way too disconnected now with the direction that we're going in, that we're going so far away from ever understanding what that was.
Yeah, it could have been some very easy, very simple thing that we've totally lost control of.
Because I could picture, now we're going real tinfoil hat here, but I really do believe in advanced ancient civilizations.
For sure.
And to think, like, if you look at these ancient structures like the pyramids or Göbekli Tepe, I could picture that just they could have been super advanced, but just culture was just in a completely different direction. Our culture has gone into social media and stuff. Who's to say that repeats? What if everyone had their affairs in order and it was more about, community and culture? It wasn't about
spiritual.
Yeah, but that was like the common trend. It was to be really in tune with everyone.
Yeah, we're not. So we've done the complete opposite, which is, we're all connected all at once and we can talk to each other all at once, but we're so disconnected from our own sense of reality that we're getting to this point where no one's really connected.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think it's like,
where it's you're just connected to the device and you're out of your mind constantly. Versus I'm always in tune with my body. I'm always in tune with the people around me. I'm always in tune with my spiritual self and what I'm feeling, which
Yeah.
is more important than materialism or whatever. You know, the other cultures might have been on the brink of that and just thought, nah, this is not the direction we want to go.
like I feel like the need for communication and contact is in the human biology,
Yes.
but our version of I guess existence, our era of existence, we've not really understood which way to take that, and we've gone in like this social media direction when these ancient civilizations may have had a complete different trajectory into
Totally.
what they were all reaching towards. And I think it's really it's kind of sad to think of them as like primitive people that just built rock and stone structures when they could have been way more advanced, just had different priorities to us.
Totally. And a lot of people said, well, how are you supposed to know that they were advanced in any degree when, you know, oh, you just got to look for signs of plastic. If they were smart, they would have come up with plastic. And then a lot of scientists have said, well, if they were smart, they probably would have looked at plastic and gone, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Why would I create this? It's going to pollute the earth. I don't want that.
Like why would you just automatically assume that everyone in that generation had an oil titan, had a medical titan that was just all about like reaping the benefits off the world?
Totally.
They could have just gone in the complete green direction from the get-go.
Yep.
And been like, this is the way to go.
Totally.
Why would we pollute the planet? Because that was advanced thinking. Yeah. I mean, isn't the Titanic like predicted to be fully dissolved in a few years' time?
I have no idea.
I think that they've already given it a lifespan, and by a certain date, within the near future, not like thousands of years, but it's going to be fully eroded at the sea floor.
It's going to not exist anymore.
And that just shows you like that's full old school forged metal. And that has not lasted the test of time. That's only a couple of generations old. So any structures that we come up with, if the world goes to shit, they're just going to slowly erode. Not slowly erode. They're going to any traces of our skyscrapers and things will just be gone. That's why these stone structures last forever. They're earthquake proof. They don't erode.
Yeah,
they don't melt down.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, man. I wondered about that stuff a lot.
Yeah,
and I think, you know, if we did go into some nuclear war and civilization rebuilt itself, well, like, I don't know if the human population has ever been this large, though.
Well, a great cataclysm could solve that.
Yeah,
like
but then we would
done.
Yeah, but we would then be still who we are now.
Well, no, because then you would have nothing to build off of. Everything would be wiped out.
Humans still survive?
Yeah, or a minor amount, and they separated. And they know what the world they used to live in, but they have no, if the world went to shit and it's up to you and me, we don't know how to forge steel. We don't know how to, make electricity.
And all we're doing is telling stories to our grandkids.
We're explaining there was planes in the sky. They had these skyscrapers, and we have grandkids, and we're still telling the stories. And all they grew up with was
sticks and stones.
Yeah, or maybe a plastic bag that we left them.
Yeah.
He's a old school lunchbox.
Totally.
Thanks, Dad. That's that. Oh man, imagine to find out like our relics. If we're an if we're an advanced civilization and we get wiped out, our relics aren't the freaking Rosetta Stones. It's just plastics, smelted plastics into like a Sprite bottle, and people and the next generation, like a million years, are gonna be like, these are the remnants from an ancient civilization.
Spiriti.
Spiriti. Hail Spiriti.
That's what they knew.
There's going to be like a religious dude at that time, and he's going to think he found like the Rosetta Stone, and it's just a Sprite label.
Yeah,
and he's
look at these Mongols.
Listen to these religious texts. Water, sugar, more sugar, lemon flavor enhancer. And everyone just takes it as a religious Bible.
Yeah, okay. If they can read it.
Oh, wow.
It's like a lost language. Depends how long it takes. There's that thought that we're not going to know what even English sounds like in 300 years. We're not going to be able to understand it.
I had a thought a long time ago. Do you think you could invent a new accent? or every accent sound has been taken up.
You could invent a new one.
But like, if you were to watch a movie and they're doing aliens, they make aliens sound the same. And if you do any other sound of accent, it sounds like something that's from Earth. It sounds like any country's accent speaking English. For someone to come up with an accent for someone speaking English, I feel like it's very hard to not make it sound like something that already exists.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But it would have to be something very disconnected to what we know.
Which just automatically
we already
goes
know
to
the
robot.
main ones. We already know the main ones.
Yeah. And I think that's a hard part, because then otherwise the first thing people think of are like, bring me to your leader. Like
But that's a
too
cliche.
disconnected.
You would have to have someone who's never spoken the language before try and do it. Or something with a totally different vocal cord. Yes. Like, so the years ago, they tried to make a monkey speak, and it ended up just being like...
Really?
Yeah. It didn't have the vocal cords to do it. They can make sounds.
Do you think with enough practice it could get there, or would it have to be evolved to get there?
Man, just think about it. No, it can't do it. It's impossible right now.
Yeah.
But think about it. A bird, we can't copy what a bird sounds like that much, or the certain sounds that a bird can make, but they can copy us. They can make any sound almost. You seen those birds that can sound like chainsaws?
Why do you think that is an adaptation?
They copy what they hear.
How does that help them in the wild?
To communicate with other things they can't see.
Is it like a defensive thing, you think?
No, it's to find the version of themselves out there.
But wouldn't they have their own sound?
Yeah, they do, but some copy to mask or to get something else to, reveal its location or whatever. So you had those birds that would copy the meerkat sounds to scare the meerkats into thinking that there's an alert, but then it would just come in and steal the food.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
So it's an adaptation thing.
Speaking of teaching apes things,
yeah.
Did you hear about? I'm not sure if it was an ape or I think it may have been an orangutan.
Mm-hmm.
They taught it to understand sign language, and then they made it understand what death was, and then it got super depressed.
And it didn't know what death was?
It pretty much, they were able to communicate to it the understanding of what death is, and then once it
go away.
Once it comprehended it, it got super depressed, which is so sad.
That is pretty sad. Why would they teach it that?
I guess scientists just trying to get communication and see how advanced the ape brain is.
Mm. That's kind of sad.
It is quite sad.
It's like, but I remember the story of when they had Michael the gorilla, with Coco the monkey, and they tried to make a mate with Coco and him, and they taught him sign language. And then one day they saw him acting out, and they asked him what's wrong, and he said he was thinking about the time his mother was killed when he was like an infant.
Damn.
Yeah, and he was like 20 or something like that. And they said, "What are you
Such
talking
strong
about?"
memories.
Yeah, and he said like that's why he was upset and sad that day. And he was
it just remembered that day.
Yeah, so it was walking around throwing around a tire, and they said to it, "Well, what's going on? Like, why are you doing this?" And he says like he was having the thoughts of what he described, like, and he was saying the words like loud, bang, mum, like lie down, blood, dead. Like it was just communicating vague things. But they said, that it was poachers killing the mum, and that's how they found him was poachers, and he escaped. And then they said, man, that was the story of his mum getting shot, and they didn't even think he could remember that.
That's terrible.
And he was like a full-grown fucking gorilla.
Jeez, that's like
silverback.
Just shows you it's traumatizing for any sentient creature.
Yep.
Aren't some scientists noticing that the apes are starting to go into another era, like from stone and sticks and stones era to like the early stage of the Iron Age or something?
Cybernetic era.
Because there's photos of orangutans utilizing spears in the wild.
But have they been taught that, or no? It's that they've picked that up.
I'm not too sure if they've seen it happen, but to understand that is a more advanced way of hunting is interesting.
Yeah.
That means I'm sure that knowledge will be passed down, saying, okay, well, instead of just going barehanded and breaking an animal's head open, use this weapon instead. and we might be just starting to see a little bit of evolution start happening.
That's pretty cool. I've not heard that at all. So, do you think that they're going to catch up? Like they're slowly hyper evolving?
I don't think they're hyper evolving. But
I've seen that photo.
I definitely think we're going to bring up a photo, but I think that we might be seeing the early stages of the next leap for that species.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously, this is going to it could take thousands of years, but we're just getting a little taste of the potential of what they could reach if given enough time.
Very interesting.
Because given enough time, anything will evolve, right?
Oh, for sure.
We haven't reached, I don't know about humans, but everything else has the high potential to turn into something else.
Definitely. I did hear the story that crows and magpies, I think just crows have entered the Bronze Age.
Crows,
because that the essence for Bronze Age was that you needed to be able to use tools and you needed to be able to teach it to your young.
That might be what the apes are starting to go into, the Bronze Age.
The crows have already done that because they use tools to kind of, collect things out of water, and they use it to like open stuff, and they teach it to their young. So it's not that just one figures it out; it's that they actually teach it to each other.
Wow!
So they've technically entered the Bronze Age. Crows.
That's interesting.
Pretty cool.
And is that with natural things or things that humans have left behind?
Not sure, but that's what I've heard. That they're in the Bronze Age already because they're tool users. Not all of them, but some of them.
That's cool.
Yeah. What else do you think is catching up? Presume we can see cats driving cars.
I mean, well, people are like teaching their dogs to have those little buttons to tell them when they're hungry.
But not in the wild. This is in the wild.
That's true. I'm not too sure what else, but like...
Maybe rats. Rats are pretty fucking smart. Oh, no, there's fucking... what are they called? Honey badgers.
What do they do?
They're very smart and can use shit to their advantage. They can use rocks and sticks and
stuff. Otters like they get a little they bash little stones on their little oysters to open them up.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But honey badgers are pretty smart. When they're escaping stuff, they stack rocks up, and then when they're out of rocks, they stack mud and build.
Cool. Man,
it's a game.
Have you seen the actual real size of a beaver?
Yeah, it's big.
It's massive.
They have those crocodiles. You reminded me. They have those otters, those saltwater river otters. They're big as crocodiles. Fucking hell.
Did you know that that's how big they are?
A giant
beaver.
Oh,
there's a giant beaver. But like, imagine something with teeth like that walking around. Is that thing
alive now, though? Is that thing was alive or it's alive now?
I'm going to have to look that up.
Because that looks way too big. That looks fucking stupid. Look up river otter. Those things are huge and they're alive now. Pull that shit up, Jamie.
I'm on it.
You ever seen that monkey eat that person's face? Pull that shit up, Jamie.
You ever seen a monkey
river
on
otter.
DMT?
They'll eat crocodiles. That's how fucking big they are. That type of size. Thing. You can see someone holding them. They're very long. I mean, they're almost 2 meters long.
For something that cute, it looks pretty vicious.
The alligators are scared of them.
Damn. They look so cute though.
No, but they're big. Like they're like this long.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like one of those lizards. What are they called?
Komodo dragon.
Yeah, Komodo dragon.
Those things are scary. They bite you and they wait for the bacteria to eat your body and then wait for you to die 3 days later. They follow you around till you drop dead and then slowly eat you. There you go. River otter eating fucking alligator.
That's freaky, dude.
It's chewing its head off. If it can even chew through that skin, look at it.
It's got some battle scars as well, man.
Oh, I don't give no fucks, bro.
Look how big it is. It looked so cute before, and now it just looks like a seal.
It looks like fucking Godzilla.
It looks like a seal, and it just looks like just a killing machine.
They are, dude. They are not to be messed with. They will mess you up.
My goodness.
And they hunt in packs of like 20 or more.
You need to calm down.
They carry the alligators around in their mouth.
That's freaky, man. I thought otters were really cute. And
no, some are, but not those ones. The saltwater river otters, they'll mess you up.
That looks like a panther.
It's a panther that swims.
It's a wet panther.
Yep.
Look at that. What kind of face is that for something so cute?
Yeah, very scary.
All right, well,
Well, that's pretty good.
I don't want to cuddle otters anymore.
No, I'm never going to touch one. I think that's it, man. I think we're wrapping it up now. It's been like over an hour.
We've reached our time.
Yep. Unless you wanted to say something else to our viewers.
No, I think we're good.
I felt like there's so much other stuff I wanted to say, but I just didn't have time. Next time.
Next time. We'll keep it for next time, guys. I hope you enjoyed the little journey we went on today. I feel like we touched on across... I mean, we taught each other a lot of things. We had a lot of interesting discussions today, from science to evolution, and all in between.
Yeah. But we love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. As always, we're the Double Dose.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.